Oh, but somebody else won twice? Is that what you're saying?
He's awesome, so everybody won.
Yeah, but it's just still it's a random draw, right? You didn't get to pick your numbers.
Right.
Well, so we're going to tie this thing all in tonight. We're going to try to anyway. Day 31, tying it all in. Hey, Dave, hand me that stool, please. Thank you, sir. Hey, would you do me one more favor? Up on that, behind that deal is my Bible in my black bag, like right behind that soundboard. Just grab my Bible. It's in my black bag, just right up there behind. All right. Hey, everybody. What's up, Gabe? Gabe's in Los Angeles. He's watching from there. Y'all can say hi to Gabe. Hang on, Gabe. So we just finished a Christ Fit Fusion boot camp. I'm only going to put you on this for one quick minute. I would love to do Facebook Live video. Let me get out of the way. Say hi to Gabe. Say hi to everybody else. Hi. Everybody's almost too tired to even say hi. They worked hard tonight. And we always miss everybody when they're gone. But we just finished a Christ Fit Fusion workout. And now we're going to have our quick little word on spiritual and physical fitness. And thank you, y'all, for getting with us. So as we wind this down, all right, day 31, tying it all in. And there is no way that we can really tie everything in that we've been going through in these last 31 days out of this journal. Does anybody that's been coming for any length of time, I don't care if it's your first time, what has been one takeaway? And you don't all have to answer, but what's one thing that pops out of your mind? And I don't care if it's just you can do anything for 10 seconds. Consistency, all right. Both physically and spiritually, or one more than the other? Consistency. That's the last of the 3 Christ Fit Fusion principles, right? We'll just break that down because BJ, you're new. So our whole deal is this, and here's why. Let me give you the why for why we do Christ Fit, why I do this ministry. Christ Fit Fusion, our why is because spiritually and physically, you will weather the storms of life much better. And you will perform much better when the sun shines, when you're spiritually and physically fit. You're either in a storm, you've just come out of one, or you're headed into one at almost any given moment. Whether it's a spiritual storm, an attack of some kind, and you know what, I don't even have to go down the list of what all that is, but we have stuff at work, we have stuff at home, we have stuff with kids, we have stuff with friends, we have stuff with business, we have stuff with you name it. Man, those storms come, right? And you fade that heat better when you are spiritually strong. So as hard as we work in here to get fit, my passion is to also help you to be inspired to get as strong spiritually for those spiritual storms. But the physical storms come too. And whether it's you having an injury or a sickness or disease or whatever the case, you're going to fade that heat. You're going to recover faster when you're strong. And you know what? When you fall, I'm not going to say I can't fall down, because I can, all right? But I promise you, if I'm walking along and texting like you're not supposed to do, but if I'm walking and texting and hit one of those little air bumps in the sidewalk and do one of them little right? Chances are I'm just going to kind of catch a little hop and hopefully make it look cool, all right? And hopefully not fall. But if I fall, I feel pretty confident that I can do one of those combat rolls and get up, right? Versus a lady that I don't know, but a client of mine was telling me about a lady that was doing just that, walking and texting. And she didn't fare so well, and she's ended up with like oral surgery and all kinds of mess. All right? So walk and text at your own risk. But at the very least, if you got a little bit of fitness behind you, you stand a better chance of kind of catching yourself before you crash and burn. So that's our why. You're going to weather the storms of life much better. And you're going to perform better when the sun's shining. There are those days when the sun shines bright, and somehow, for some reason, God is just shining on you, and you've got this opportunity to do something. And whatever that something is, you're going to do it better when you're spiritually fit. You will, I promise. And physically, you're going to do that better when you're physically fit. And we don't have to all go out and run 10Ks and 5Ks. But you know what? I like to play with my kids. And I'll be darned, when I'm 80 years old, I bet you they can't take me. I hope my goal is they can't take me. Not without trying real hard anyway. Everything that we do is built on 3 principles. Here's your other takeaway. And Sonia, her takeaway was the last principle. First one is, here's how you do it. Here's how you get Christ fit. Number 1, eat a healthy spiritual and physical diet. Is that simple? Eat a healthy spiritual diet. Put healthy stuff up in here. Read your Bible. This is spiritual power food. It really is. It really is. And we know, I've used this statistic, less than 20% of churchgoers read their Bibles. And I'm not here to shame people and guilt people, but this is a high challenge class, and I'm a high challenge dude, okay? And I don't always meet every challenge that I set for myself, but I always set the bar way high for me, and that's me. But you know what? If I set the bar high for you and you're striving for it and you're doing the best you can to get to it, I'm hoping if we set the bars in the star that we might land on the moon. I'm high challenged. And you know what? As a Christian, man, I'm telling you, this is where it's at. If you're not in this book, get in that book. That is BIBLE, basic instructions before leaving earth. God has given us the owner's manual. What do you do when the red light comes on in your car? You get a light on your car, right? Oh no, what does that mean? I bet you go to the owner's manual. You might take it just to the shop, but you know what? If you're down a dirt road and there's no shop to take it to, and the light comes on, you're going to get out your owner's manual and start reading. How do I deal with this little funny looking light that's on my dash? What do I do when my kids? What do I do when my wife? What do I do in my job? What do I do when I'm thinking about a move? What do I do about this anger problem I've got? What do I do about this habit I've got? What do I do about fill in the blank? And it's right here. There's your manual. So I'm high challenge. Eat a healthy spiritual and physical diet. And there's more than the Bible. Everything else is kind of like supplements. We talk about physical supplements. Well, we got spiritual supplements. There's all kinds of good reading. There's some fascinating commentaries. Not boring stuff. Not doctrine. I mean, they use sound doctrine, but there's some very, very fun reading. And there's pastors that know this word, and they got a way of representing it and speaking it and writing it that helps things come alive, whether you're man, woman, child, whatever. So we get those healthy spiritual supplements. But we put healthy stuff up in here is the bottom line. And you know what? We put healthy stuff in here. People want that perfect body. You know what? You want the perfect body? You got to eat a perfect diet. You got to. And I'm not about the perfect body. If you want it, you can get it. But you know what? You got to have the perfect diet. But let's be real. Okay, so maybe I just want to be fit and able to climb a rock climbing wall. So proud of you, Diane. Dude, did you see those pictures? No. This lady climbed a rock climbing wall. I got pissed on Facebook, dude. She's like 40 feet in the air climbing this wall, bro.
I did.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. So that's number 1. Eat a healthy spiritual and physical diet. Put healthy stuff in here. All right, it works. It works. And you already know. We ain't got to tell you to not eat ice cream at 10 o'clock at night before you go to bed. We ain't got to tell you don't eat chocolate frosted sugar bombs in the morning. All right? You know what's healthy or not. Number 2 principle. Exercise spiritually and physically. Exercise spiritually and physically. We just did our physical exercise. All right? We did our physical exercise. Spiritual exercise. What are those spiritual exercises? Well, reading is one of them. Okay, that's a doing thing. Your spiritual exercises is you're doing stuff. Now, it's also nutrition because we're getting stuff in, right? So it kind of overlaps here. But what's some other spiritual exercises? Tithing. What else we got, somebody? What's a spiritual exercise? Praying. Heard something else.
Showing kindness.
Showing kindness. Absolutely. Forgiving people. That's a big one for me. I don't like forgiving people. I don't like forgiving people, and I don't like asking for forgiveness. I would rather do the asking. I'm better at saying, hey, I goofed up, I'm sorry. I'm okay with that when I've gotten better. But dude, forgiving somebody, that one's like bench pressing 500 pounds for me. Now I'm getting better. I'm getting stronger. The thing about these spiritual exercises, it's just like our physical. You come to class and you get stronger. And you get to where you can do a sit-up. You get to where you can do a push-up. That's awesome. You get to where you can do 10 push-ups. That's awesome. You stop coming to class and you're not working out. You come back to class. Doing 10 push-ups is no harder than it's ever been, but you all of a sudden can't do it. Not because the push-ups got harder, because you got weaker. Our spiritual exercises, those doing things, the reading, the praying, the tithing, the forgiving, the showing kindness, the encouraging, all of these things that we do get us stronger. When we get better with a particular sin, you fill in your blank. Anybody got a blank to fill in? Be real. Anybody got a blank to fill in? I'm not going to make you say it. Think in your head. Okay, think in your head right now. My sin that I struggle with the most is. Don't say it. Do you have one? I do. Raise your hand if you got one. All right. Just be real with me. But you know what? That sin, when you get spiritually strong, it's like that weight, and you can overcome it through the strength of God, through God doing it through you, but you got to get him in you to get that strength, his strength. But you know what I find is when I stop doing those spiritual exercises and I get weak, it's easier for me to blow it. So number one, eat a healthy spiritual and physical diet. Exercise spiritually and physically. And number three, Sonia said it already, do them both consistently. And that's it. If you do those three things, if you do those first two things consistently, dude, you can't not get spiritually and physically fit. It happens. Now check this out. Let me read real quick from the book of Luke. I was reading this morning, just part of my daily read, and it just really kind of jumped out at me. And I wanted to share it with y'all tonight as we close this thing out. We're almost done. Dude, we've got so much time. That's awesome. Thank y'all everybody on Facebook for joining us. Gabe, Morgan, hey sis, that's my sister. Hey Eva. If y'all got questions, y'all can join in on the convo. I might have to answer them afterwards, but I'm going to Luke 14. And it's going to start in 25 and go to the end of the chapter. It's short. And the little tagline here is the cost of being a disciple. All right? Pay attention to this. The cost of being a disciple. We're called to be disciples. We're also called to make disciples. If you're calling yourself a Christian, absolutely, it starts with faith in Jesus Christ. Believing in him as God's son, that he died for your sins, that he rose from the dead so that you don't have to experience eternal death. You put your faith in him, you mean it in your heart, you're saved. But I also read some things in here that tell me about works. And we're not saved by works. Makes it clear that we're not saved by works. But it says, you know what? I'll show you my faith by my works. If you love the Lord, he's in there. He's in there for a reason. Because you're created and you're designed. If you're created and you're designed and he put you here, he wants to do something with your time here. And so, yes, we're saved by faith. But check this out, what he says about being a disciple. So great crowds were following Jesus. He turned around and said to them, if you want to be my follower, you must love me more than your own father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters. I love Jesus more than you, Morgan, just saying, but I do love you a lot. That's my sister. But I love Jesus more than her. Yes, more than your own life. Otherwise, you cannot be my disciple. And you cannot be my disciple if you do not carry your own cross and follow me. But don't begin until you count the cost. Check this out. Don't even